Hi, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Chatting in My Closet. Happy New Year, everybody. This is the first episode of the new year, which is pretty crazy in my mind, honestly. I have a pretty fundamental question to explore as today's topic, and that's why do we love luxury? I can't speak for everybody, so at least I want to share why I really love luxury brands and then open it up to all of you guys to share if in case you have different thoughts or reasons why you love luxury in the comment section down below. And as always, we can continue the conversation down there. This was the topic that won the majority vote on my communities page because after each Chatting in My Closet episode, I post a poll asking for your input on the next episode. But let's get started with today's topic. For those of you tuning in for the first time, hi, I'm Katie. I like to do these luxury fashion videos here on YouTube. I share hauls and reviews, but at the end of the day, I share my journey so we can all mindfully curate our own collections. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts on this topic. All of your support really means a lot to me. I'm gonna start by laying my definition of luxury. And for me, luxury is something that you don't need. It's not a necessity. It's not like mission critical. It's not life or death if you don't have it. So almost by definition, it's something extra. I kept that at the back of my mind while I was exploring why I liked luxury. And I really was able to boil it down to three main areas of why I liked luxury. One, I like the innovation that happens in that space, and I'll dive into that deeper in a second. Two, I like how it looks, and three, I like the exclusivity that comes around with it. Not in a snobbish way, but let me dive into each of those areas. So the first one is around like the innovation. And what I consider innovation is not only in terms of the textiles itself, but it can also be in the cut, in the way something is designed. It can also be in the colors that are used. Now, of course, there's some limit to innovation, okay? I'm not necessarily saying it's only the luxury brands that produce something new, but a lot of times it will be cycled through, right? Inspired from something that was popular in the past and brought back into the present. You can sort of see that with the resurgence of early 2000s fashion elements in the upcoming collections in 2022. So what I mean by innovation isn't always strictly just like, oh my God, this has never been seen before, because for the centuries that we've existed on Earth, it's gonna be really hard to see something that we've never seen before. But what I do think the luxury houses are better suited to do is explore with different cuts, or they'll make something that's pretty out there, but they can. You know what I mean? Like, they're not looking for how they can mass produce something to drive down the cost. They're not necessarily as concerned about whether a particular color is going to sell as much. If that's the color that's part of the palette, like, they're happy to go forward and create products that use that color. Luxury brands are less likely to be concerned about how like mass produced something can be, or how widely adopted something could be at the onset that they put it out there. And I like that attitude, that you're not so concerned about what other people necessarily think about. And don't get me wrong, I don't like everything that comes out from all of the luxury brands like all the time. Even Chanel, it's one of my favorite brands, but there are times that, like this past like cruise collection, where I was a little like, not sure. So there are times where it's not necessarily for me, but what I like is that overall attitude and that kind of energy they bring. They sort of don't care whether or not you like it. They're going to make it because they wanted to, kind of thing. And that's what I like. And that's where I got a lot of inspiration in terms of like the cut of a particular garment, or the colors that they might use. And, you know, more often than not, I find myself like subconsciously inspired by it. And then I'll look for things that already exist in my closet that I might be able to use for that purpose, or I try to wear things that I already have in a way that mimics that new silhouette. So that's one of the big draws for me when it comes to luxury, that sort of that cutting edge, you know, kind of being ahead of the curve, and that innovation that they drive. The second reason was because I just liked how it looks. And part of this, I think, is just kudos to their amazing marketing for like decades. But also, like, there are so many of those pieces that, in my mind, at least growing up, were always sort of instilled as classics, and therefore pieces that will last in your closet for many, many, many years. And they aren't so much just a trend or a fad, but they are in fact pieces that, you know, you can even pass down for generations. I guess that's why growing up I always had that sort of notion and desire to have these pieces, because I knew they were classics that I felt like, if I took good care of them, would really be something that lasts generations. I sort of have that appreciation for design, not only when it comes to fashion items, but also for furniture and things like that. I think it just stems from an overall appreciation of the designs that existed during different time periods. So for me, it's just like there's an aesthetic element of it that I like, that I pursue, that I continue to want to have. And I personally like to have things that look nice. I'm someone who gets joy out of surrounding myself with nice things. So, and nice things don't always just mean expensive things, but like things that look nice, things that I think look nice, colors that I think look nice. Like, that's how I like to be inspired. And that's why when I do staycations or do little road trips somewhere, I try to find a place that really has a specific aesthetic going on. It might not always be the same aesthetic that I want in my home, but that's also why I want to go there when I'm visiting. Like the little bed and breakfast I went to in December, in my vlog in December, I would not decorate my home that way, but I liked being in that space for a little period of time. So it's like similar to that. That's why I like the things that I have to be things that I think look pretty, look good. And I tend to like the things that are classic with a twist anyway. So I think that's also why I gravitate towards these luxury brands, because they've existed for a good amount of time, that they have their classics like well defined. So they will always have those, but they're at a place where they can start doing these kinds of flavors of their classics without losing too much of their identity in that newer version. And then the third area that I wanted to mention was the exclusivity around it. Now, I don't mean the exclusivity in like a snobbish way. And I'm not really somebody who cares too much if someone has a similar outfit as I do when I go somewhere, or they might have the same bag as I do. Like, I'm not too bothered by that necessarily. And it's not like when I put something on, I'm like, they only made like 100 of these and I have one. Like, I don't think about it, the exclusivity in that way. But I think for me, it is the fact that not everybody is necessarily purchasing ready-to-wear from Chanel or ready-to-wear from Hermes or even Louis Vuitton, like whatever the brand is. It's not everybody who necessarily purchases those items. And then even among the population of people who do purchase those ready-to-wear pieces, I might not always be buying the same things that somebody else does, because that might not necessarily be the one that's the most popular, but that's the one that I like. And so I just like that element of it, where I am sort of hunting for the piece that works for me. I don't necessarily care if the piece that I'm wearing is really obviously from a luxury brand. Sometimes I will wear things that are clearly monogrammed, or you can see it, you know, logoed out or whatever. But sometimes I'll wear pieces that are very not obvious. Like, you honestly wouldn't really know unless you looked at the actual label. And that's like, I guess that's just what I like about it. It's that I know where it comes from, and I know that there's good quality built into it. And it's not so much that everybody else has to know. And then sometimes there's that that acknowledgement or that nod you get from someone else who recognizes. Like, if you know, and they're sort of like, oh, okay. And then because each of those pieces are pretty rare in a sense. Like not everybody is wearing the same things. When you start making combinations of those pieces that you have in your closet, I feel like that look becomes very you. It's very unlikely that someone else is really gonna have like that same top and then thought about matching it with the same bottoms, you know, and pairing it with the same bag. So that look becomes entirely yours, and it's your, you know, it represents you. It represents your mood that day. I like that combination aspect too, that helps you better express yourself. And really, at the end of the day, when I look back at my journey of collecting these different pieces from luxury brands, whether that be clothes or shoes or accessories, handbags, I know that I have overall started to buy a lot less and be a lot more mindful of the pieces that I choose to add to my closet. It's a combination of that price tag and the piece that really make me pause and think about whether I really want to add that to my closet. Because if I get this, that means I can't get a lot of other things. And so is this piece going to add that much value to my wardrobe? Is it going to be worth it? And once I deem it yes, then I'm happy to bring it, you know, into my closet and then incorporate it in different ways. Adding more luxury ready-to-wear to my collection has really gotten me to think a lot more. It's not just ready-to-wear, actually. It's handbag, it's everything really. But you know, the more I purchase luxury, the more I'm like, okay, like what is special about this one? Do I have something already that's similar that I could modify or accessorize in a different way? Like, why am I really drawn to this piece that I'd want to add it to my collection? I've seen that as a benefit almost of continuing to collect luxury pieces. And then the other thing that I was thinking about was we all attribute high quality with the high price point, like the high quality with the luxury brand. And honestly, that's not always the case. Sometimes there will be duds. And sometimes there are pieces that I feel like the brand just made for the sake of making. Like I'm very confused why they had to make another t-shirt that just had their brand like slapped right across. Like, did you really have to make that? Like, I don't think so. So there are the duds in there, don't get me wrong. But overall, because I feel like there are people who often say like, oh, like why would you ever buy something from a luxury brand and pay like 1,000 times more for a t-shirt when like you can get the same thing somewhere else? There is some built-in quality though. Even if it's the same, even if it's a cotton t-shirt, the thickness of that cotton can be different, and it's more the finishings that are different. So the sewing is done in a way where it's not going to unravel once you wash it the first time. And it's those kinds of things that make you want to wear the piece over and over again. I'm sure you all have that experience where you got like a cheap shirt somewhere and you wore it and then like the hem starts unraveling, like one stitch came off and it starts unraveling. Like how many people these days actually mend their clothes, right? So then are you going to take it to tailors to like help you mend that part? Like more often than not, people are just gonna be like, oh, I'll just get a new one. I feel like there is some more quality that's built into it, probably not to the level that we all necessarily want it to be. And then there will still be some fails in there, you know, because brands can't get it right every time. You let me know if you think I'm wrong, but I think there is a level of quality that you're purchasing with the item along with all of the brand heritage, the marketing, when you buy something from these brands. I feel like I'm losing so much light, so I am going to wrap up my thoughts here. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know why you really love luxury in the comment section down below. And let me know if you love luxury for only certain things. Like you only love them for handbags and accessories maybe, or you only love them for ready to wear. Like let me know if there is a specific area that you only choose to buy luxury in and other areas that you choose not to. I'd be really curious. Let me know in the comment section down below. Like I I mentioned, there will be a poll on my communities page in a couple of days. So please check that out and feel free to enter the poll, like vote for the next topic that you would like me to discuss. And if you have any other suggestions for chatting in my closet topics, of course, let me know in the comment section down below. I do check them all and add them to my list. So any ideas you have, I am open ears. If you have any other questions on anything at all, feel free to leave them down below or head on over to Instagram and I'd be happy to help however I can. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your feedback and support. If you like this kind of content and you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I post new fashion related videos every Sunday and Wednesday. So until next time,